Hello there, my zealots. This is Joshua coming at you today. Hey, so Aaron asked yet another good question. This is great. So Aaron says, how can Jesus be fulfilling the law when stuff like eye for an eye gets changed to turn the other cheek? Isn't that a complete change of the law? This is the thing. There is concepts in understanding certain concepts. Okay, let me put it this way. There are immutable truths that need to be understood. But the problem is that you're limited by the understanding of the person that is trying to understand these immutable truths. There are truths of perspective, and then there are absolute truths. Okay? A truth of perspective and an absolute truth. So when God tells Moses, he says, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. He's saying if somebody does something evil to you, they should have something evil done to them. Why? Why should they have something evil done to them? So that they know that they're hurting somebody, that they have fear, that there should be empathy. Okay, the reason that eye for an eye is there should be empathy, and you're forcing empathy on those people that are evil. That's the whole point of eye for an eye. If you gouge out somebody's eye, there will be forced empathy. Okay, you gouge out somebody's eye, guess what? You get your eye ripped out. Now you have empathy. You knock out somebody's tooth, you get your tooth knocked out. Now you are forced empathy. You now have forced empathy. That's the whole point. Okay? Eye for an eye, tooth for tooth. It's basically forcing empathy on people that are evil. All right? That's the whole point. Now, Jesus Christ said, turn the other cheek. Okay? He's saying, turn the other cheek. So you have to understand that eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth is for evil people. It is the punishment for evil people. But this commandment, turn the other cheek, is for righteous people. He's saying, you already are empathetic, but let's take that empathy to a whole other level. He's saying, you are so empathetic, you know that you would never want that to happen to anybody because you know how horrible it is. He's like, listen, if somebody hurts you, you are so righteous that you're bringing it up a notch. Okay, so we have the evil person. In order to keep the evil person in check, you have to threaten them with violence because that's the only way it keeps them in check. But if you're righteous, what keeps you in check is because you know you would never want to do harm to anybody. You realize that harm hurts and it's bad and it's evil and you'd never want to hurt anybody. One commandment by Moses was written to evil people to punish them for evil acts. Jesus Christ said, turn the other cheek. If one man smite you on the cheek, turn to him also the other. He's like, listen, don't resist evil because evil is evil and evil is bad. Why would you ever want to hurt somebody? Even if they're doing damage to you, you still should not want to hurt somebody because you are righteous. Okay? The eye for an eye is for evil people to keep evil people in abeyance with the law. He's like, listen, since you have no empathy, we're going to force empathy on you. But the higher standard of this empathy is saying, turn the other cheek. It is evil to do harm to people. So if somebody does harm to you, you just let them keep doing it because it would be horrible for you, who is righteous, to do something bad to somebody else. The commandment is different for different people. We have different commandments for men and we have different commandments for women. We have different commandments for children. We have different commandments for leaders than we do for servants, for masters than we do for slaves, for Jews than we do for Gentiles. There's different commandments depending on your background and upbringing or whatever. I had multiple children and I had different rules that applied to each one of them because their mentalities were different. So what we have to understand is an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth is written for evil men. Does it still apply to righteous men? Of course it still applies to righteous men, but no righteous man would, go that far. He who is without sin cast the first stone. You're not going to do evil because there's a greater truth. This truth, turn the other cheek, is for the ultimate righteous men. But the ultimate righteous man. But this is for people that are not righteous. If somebody will not claim righteousness, then you say eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, because you're just a horrible human being. But if you are righteous, turn the other cheek. You have to look at the intent, the intention. Righteous people care about helping people. Evil people care about hurting people. Eye for an eye is there to so you are forced to put on, like, I want to knock that dude's tooth out. Well, if I knock that dude's tooth out, then I might have my tooth knocked out. You're forced to be empathetic. But if you are righteous, you already are empathetic, and you're like, oh, I don't care what this guy does to me. I would never wish that on anybody. It's the same mentality. It's a spectrum of righteousness, and it starts with an eye for an eye, and it ends with turn the other cheek. It's a spectrum of righteousness. The minimum righteousness is be fearful about people doing evil to you. Don't do evil to others because it might be done to you. The other end is do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. The flip sides of the same concept. The golden rule, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. If somebody's beating you up, what would rather them do to you? Be nice to you, be kind to them, be kind to you, help you. So you should, it says, love thy neighbors, do good to them that despitefully hate you. Okay, well, this is the forced empathy. Do equal to what is done to you. You see what I'm saying? It's the lowest end is eye for an eye, tooth in the other cheek, or eye for an eye, tooth for tooth. That is the lowest end. That is the lowest end of righteousness you can get. As close to evil as you possibly can get and still being righteous. The up end is saying, I don't care what evil befalls you, you never do anything harmful to anyone ever. And that is the high end of righteousness. All right, that's the spectrum of righteousness. So yeah, I hope this answers your question about, like, because it's not, both are still valid. It's just one is for evil people and one is for righteous people. The spectrum of righteousness. I think that's going to be the name of this video. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Click share, subscribe, click the dingy thingy so you get annotations. Saturday, 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, we have to live stream the Bible Slam. Bring your questions because I love that sort of stuff. Yeah, you know I love God because I love virtue, justice, and salvation. You have a great day. Take it easy. Bye.